Hello and welcome to another video in my channel, dear friends. Today they announce the content update for Path of Exile Affliction 3.23 and release the patch note. Actually, I'm pretty happy. I believe the league will have a lot of things to offer. However, it is an expansion. Meanwhile, there is no endgame bosses, I guess, but there will be something related to the league. And the forever existed labyrinth enchantment have been removed from the game, unfortunately, but they are offering a new way to get a lovely boost to our beloved gyms and skills. Also, they have removed the alternative gym quality. That made me a little bit in disbelief for a momentarily a glimpse. But after reading the patch note, I've seen a lot of things that worthwhile and to try that will literally shift the meta and the builds. And in this video, I'm going to give you what is my personal conclusions regarding these patch notes, additions, changes, and the new thing they're talking about, transfigured gems. And I believe there are some it captured my mind and I would like to try, and maybe I'm going to talk about it in the video. This video will be pretty little bit lengthy, so you bear with me. I created an Excel sheet highlighting the things that I've seen will be broken, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a lot. There's a lot here to try. There's a lot here to dive. It will be like another year of entertainment can be squeezed out of these new quality things. So from all these patch notes, I'm going to save you the time and I'm going to just start highlighting the thing that I've seen personally worth mentioning. This lovely Excel sheet I created regarding the Affliction 3.23, I noticed that they show two skills transfigured, which is Frostbomb and Falling Zombies. I think it's worth trying with mines because Frostbomb no longer have a cooldown recovery. You can just recast, and Falling Zombie will change your zombie instead of somebody who shows up beside you and do the fight for you into something like Attack on Titan, falls out from the sky. So I believe if we can try it with Mine, Trap, Arcanist Brand, it will be something broken as I believe. I'm going to try it in the league, however, this will not be my starter build. Also, as I mentioned, the enchantment, if you are not familiar with the system, you go to the Labyrinth, Eternal Lab, and you can put a line as an implicit in your helmet to grant you some overpowered mechanics to the skill gems you have, but instead they shift it from here and they put it in the gym as we are going to talk. In this video, I'm going to cover all the things that I read in the patch notes, and I see it like popping out to my eyes. It could be an idea for builds, an overpowered builds, I guess, and most of these lines you're going to read, and I'm going to read to you, will be an interaction with the quality of the gems, especially if you're using enhanced support, Ashes of the Stars, the Nullification. You will squeeze really something good out of it. As a reworked gym, as I read, there's Penance Brand. There's big lines about the Penance Brand. At the beginning, I was so lazy to read it all, but what I figured out from the Penance Brand received a really huge buff. So I summarized the Penance Brand. Now it immediately costs Explosion when branded enemy reach the maximum energy. Secondly, it doesn't have a duration. Like in the past, we have to cast the brand on the enemy, and if it's run out of duration, it will be detached without an explosion. Now it will stick to the enemy until reach the maximum energy and explode. Also, that's a huge nuke buff parameter they added to the Penance brand. They added damage efficiency of 570%. Previously was only 40, not 400, just 40. So now you can stack this lovely gem with a lot of added damage, and it will be giving an output of huge effectiveness. Especially, I believe Spellblade will be worthwhile to try with the Penance brand. And also, it will be activates 0.1 second instead of 0.5 seconds. So, like activating like 5 times faster. I believe that will reach maximum energy really 5 times faster and will done explode. And I mean, you still can use less duration gem if possible, if the duration tag will still to the enemy. However, they changed the quality of the Penance brand instead of like increase area effect into 10% more damage at gym quality 20. So technically, the Penance brand, if you add Ashes of the Stars, the Nullification as an end game high budget thing, you will squeeze out 50% more damage. Winter Orb also received a rework for its quality. The quality now give you 2 more extra stages. That means you can just push the Winter Orb into 20 stages with this kind of orientation using items. I believe, yeah, you will get 20 stages of Winter Orb. You'll have a machine gun that keeps shooting at the enemy. And for the Frostblade and a Lightning Strike, some interaction will be really, really good because the quality change into an extra projectile instead of projectile speed, which is, I believe, something lovely because you can get 2 more projectiles with Frostblade. And if you increase the quality into something like 100 instead of 20, yeah, 180%, it is possible with this orientation, like the Alamalification, Ashes of the Stars, and Enhance. You can squeeze out up to 10 projectiles, and if you use the Nemesis or Return Projectile Gems, you will shotgun the enemy, as I believe. Yeah, that will be really huge change to the scale of the gym. We talk about other gems like Blade Vortex. It no longer give you increased critical strike chance for each blade at a quality 20, but instead it will increase your hit rate. And instead, I believe it was like 7 times per tick into 20% even more. So I believe this can be equivalent to 20%, 25% more damage with 80% quality. Also, Frozen Legion, you can squeeze up the cooldown recovery into 100% because right now at gem quality 20, it can provide you 20% increase cooldown recovery instead of increased earth effect. Glacial Cascade quality is giving massive and huge buff. Used to have like 20% increased damage, now 50% more damage if you get a quality to 20%. And as I said, if you squeeze it with the orientation of Enhanced, the Alamalification, Ashes of the Stars, on a high-end budget, you can squeeze out 250% more damage, I believe. Grand Slam also received a nice rework for the quality. I noticed Grand Slam from other slams that now, when you get close to the target, you can get 20% more damage on quality 20, and yeah, you can get up to 100% more damage. It's like having 100% double damage. Herald of Thunder captured my noticing side that is going to be back. I believe the build of Herald Thunder with Storm Secret will worth trying again, because right now 20% increased frequency of hitting the enemy when you shock an enemy, and that will give you 100% increased frequency if you increase the quality to 80. But by using Storm Secret, Topaz Ring, dual ones, you can up to get 200% more frequency of hitting the enemy. That is, I believe, pretty cool. Pretty cool. For the traps, I saw Explosive Trap and Ice Trap actually got the really good share, especially the Ice Trap have 50% chance for the trap to trigger an additional time. That's like 50% more damage on average, but if you squeeze your quality into 80, you will have 70% more damage on average, because 75% chance for the trap to trigger an additional time. Molten Strike also received a quality change. A lot of gym actually received quality change, but I noticed that Molten Strike got more damage with hits and ailments instead of increasing fire damage. So more damage is something really good, especially if you have to do it with like point blank hit effect, more percent, like 50 more percent more damage if you increase the quality to 80 as the same orientation we're talking about. Now, I would say like some of these things are actually used to be enchant on the helmet and now change to the gym itself. But the Reap one, we used to have an enchant that increases your blood charges. Now Reap have quality of 5% more damage per blood charge. Maximum blood charges on Reap is 5, so you can get 25% more damage on maximum blood charges. And if you squeeze your quality into 80, you will have around 125% more damage. Yes, that's fantastic for Reap. Shield Crush, on the other hand, will be a little bit broken because it says like 10% more damage on a close range. That means 50% more damage with quality 80. However, because you're doing close range, you will satisfy the overlapping, which overlapping 2 times, 3 times, I believe. That means instead of 10, you'll get 30% more damage. So technically, maybe Shield Crush will do 150% more damage. Also worthwhile trying. Summon Raging Spirit also didn't have really OP changes to the quality. Like instead of increased movement speed, now it's a chance to summon an extra minion. So if you squeeze the quality out, you will have around 100% chance to summon. So every time you summon 1 Raging Spirit, you will summon 2 Raging Spirit. I believe you don't need to use, if you're doing a Summon Raging Spirit champion build, I don't believe you're going to need to use the seals thing, which is unleash support, and you can put another gem that boosts the minion damage instead. Summon Reaper, yes. Now, Summon Reapers used to have like increased minion life per quality, now have some sort of chance to inflict bleeding with 20%. And yes, if you squeeze the quality, you can increase the chance for bleeding. But I don't think the Summon Reaper will be some kind of asset to have on your build. Like if you're playing melee, you can just bring Summon Reaper, and that will give the enemy a bleed, but not from your main skill, only from the Summoned Reaper, and which allow you to use a support called Bloodlust that allow you to give you 40% more damage, more melee damage to your main skill, with a condition that your main skill will not inflict the bleeding. And since Summoned Reaper have the ability to inflict bleeding, so you don't need anything, just have your Summoned Reaper with you in the fight with the boss, summon him to inflict bleeding on the boss, and then you will have for a couple seconds 40% more melee damage. Now, the one who takes the cake, believe it or not, I'm sad to say that again, that Tornado Shot is going to be really, really OP this league. Because the enchantment of the helmet of additional projectile have been removed, but instead it's been put on the gem itself. Now, this is broken on several dimensions, because Tornado Shot used to have an additional projectile on secondary. As we can see here, it's an enchantment, and that enchantment doesn't change because it's stick on the helmet. You can't make it OPier than this. But now the Tornado Shot have this thing on the gem itself, on quality 20. So if you lift your quality into 80, you will have 5 additional secondary projectiles. Like oh my god, GGG, what are you doing? Okay. Like every projectile you fire will have 5 additional secondary projectiles, and if you put like Awaken Greater Multiple Projectile, you'll have like an additional of like every primary will have a secondary. And if you play like Deadeye or this Ascendancy that have additional projectile to attacks, you'll really have a lot of projectile. You'll shotgun bosses. Nobody gonna stop. Like, it's a good thing because now you can a little bit focus on tank while keeping your damage up to the maximum. I believe, yeah, it's worth trying. Like, you can actually go for it with even lower build. You will get a huge amount of DPS. Now, with the Righteous Fire, lastly, I think Righteous Fire went back to the original Righteous Fire. You no longer have to build like tankiness and resistance. Now you have to really invest in getting more life, because the base damage has been removed, and now it will deal like based on life, maximum life, like 70% of your maximum life. It is debatable that Righteous Fire will be a really OP this league, but if you're a follower of Captain Lance, he have a build like 60k energy shield. Yes, 60k energy shield. Yeah, I saw that my eyes. I didn't believe myself. But yeah, 70% of 60k ES will give you around base fire damage around 40k, so this will be broken. But still, we have to request for Mr. Lance to try this build again to see the viability and the damage scale. For the purities, yes, area of effect. We used to have area of effect on the quality. Nobody cares about the purity, but now purities can give you an extra resistances, like it boosts the effect. So a purity of element will give you extra 5 to all resistances. Fire and ice and lightning will give you an additional lightning resistance. I am not sure if they affect the maximum, but no, it's just the normal resistances. Now, a few things you might not hear, like we reached the end of the video. There are a few things you might not want to hear. For example, Vortex. We used to put Vortex on moving skill, so whenever we move, we put the Vortex on the ground with Bone Chill. That makes the enemy take more cold damage or something like this. But now it has a cooldown, like a casting time, sorry, and instead of instant. So whenever you want to try to put Vortex on moving, no, you have to stand still, cast the Vortex, and then move, which is a little bit lowering the quality of life. And as it says in the patch note, it no longer have a cast on Frostbolt or can explode from Frostbolt projectiles. I believe this one will hurt the cast on crit people who really still playing that build. I believe so. For the quality, it just gave you more radius. Now, there is either a buff or a debuff. Is it like a nerf or a buff? I have not sure. The Relish Impatience unique boot used to give you minimum endurance charges equal to your maximum endurance charges and lose them when you move, which allow you to put the boot to get all the charges, remove the boot, so you have the maximum charges stick on, so you can use it on discharge or fighting a boss or whatever you want. But now they removed that. Instead, if you wear it you will have all your charges up to the maximum, because now it have the line whenever you wear it, count as having maximum endurance charges, count as having maximum frenzy charges, and count as having maximum power charges. And also when you move, it doesn't go away, you keep sticking have these charges. However, the interaction with Timeless Jewels and I believe the Dominus node, I'm not sure, that give you like, you can't get power charges, you have frenzy charges instead of power charges, and you have like 3% more spell damage per charge. You can still, when you use the Reliquish Impatient, you can still have all the charges without affecting, and though you will deal more damage. So I believe Reliquish Impatient will be a really expensive boot this league. And lastly, announcing, as they said, they have removed the Metamorph. I have no idea why they did that. Maybe because nobody is doing that content anymore. Is it boring? Yeah. So right now they changed the Metamorph into Ultimatum. So even if you have Metamorph Stash Tab, if you purchased Metamorph Stash Tab, it will transform into Ultimatum Stash Tab. For the Metamorph content, the catalyst, yes, I believe, as we saw in the video of Path of Exile releasing, they said it is part of the ultimatum. So you do the ultimatum content, you will get these catalysts instead of doing the Metamorph. So these are all the things that I believe worth capturing and worth noticing. I wish you good luck this league, and I wish you enjoy. I believe I will really enjoy the content this league, and I'm willing to try every new quality gym rework. I think it will be a lot of fun to try new things. Maybe, I believe, after this league, there will be a lot of skills to be balanced or nerfed, because Tornado Shot is going to be the real deal, I think, this league. I'm not sure. So thank you for watching, guys, and I have to catch you in another video of the league content for my starter build. Thank you for watching this 20 minutes. I really appreciate that. Stay safe.